we in? Are we in? Are we on? Professional? Okay. Welcome back to another episode of the Insert Name Here show, talking about geek culture, news and lifestyle. And who do we have here today? We've got some special guests, guys. We've got Ron and Mike.
Hey.
Now,
how's it going?
Good, thank you. Well, we're not just here for a chat. I want to talk about what you guys are doing in your spare time. 42GeekStreet.com.
Yeah, 42GeekStreet.com is our webpage. We actually do a podcast, and we're now moving into Channel 31 and doing a television show. And Mike's joining us for the television show as an occasional guest on the podcast.
Correct.
And yeah, we do some fantasy casting agency type stuff on there as well, where we I do a blog and that sort of thing. So yeah, it's an interesting read. So if you're into that sort of thing, do check out the site and yeah, give us your feedback and comments. We'd love to hear from you.
A lot of cool stuff. Now, I just want to ask you really quickly, why 42 Geek Street? Why not 41 or 43?
Because 42 is the answer to everything.
Is that a...
Real geeks will know that.
Apparently, it's a scientific fact. 42 is the way to go, guys.
Right,
Yeah, I can see
right.
some
You
nods
can
in
ask
there.
Siri that if you want to, right?
Yeah.
42 Geek Street. Well, for those who haven't been to the site, it's well worth your time. Go check it out. You said that you talk about things like your fantasy casting and the podcast and so on. How long have you guys been doing this for?
Well, we only started the podcast about less than 12 months ago, so we've been doing that for about 6 months. But then a friend of mine happens to be associated with Channel 31, and he said, well, when I told him we were doing the podcast, he said, have we ever thought about doing television? So we ended up going down to Ballarat, and we went to an information session that Channel 31 were holding down there, which was the last one for the year. Spoke to a lot of people down there. They were really interested in what we had to say and really encouraged us to put something forward. So we then put together a submission. We submitted at Channel 31 and they've approved us to do a television show. So then our focus become around putting together that television show.
Very nice, very nice. And Mike, how do you fit into all of this?
Besides
Besides being the looks of the team.
He's our talent.
No
yeah.
offense.
Yes, I'll try.
I'm offended
No, I'm part of another podcast as well, Watch a Podcast. So I do stuff with them as well as Ron and Ren. And I also do cartooning, so I do a weekly webcomic and, just, a few things on the side.
And of course, we'll have all of this information down so that all our fans can check out your talents, of course. So, you guys, we're obviously all like-minded geeks and we all have somewhat common interests, but what is it that spurred you on to do this website and blog and so on?
Well, to start off with, Mike was getting into podcasting, so he invited me down. So I went on the Watcher podcast, and then talking to Mike and Nathan, the guys from the Watcher podcast, they encouraged me to do my own. So that's where the fantasy casting agency started. So I did a podcast with that for about 8 or 9 episodes, and Mike was on the very first show of that. And basically the premise was to have a look at the remakes, reboots, sequels, prequels and adaptations of our favourite pop cultural shows and books and stuff. And so that sort of led to that, and then that meant that Ren started getting interested in doing a podcast. His partner that he was going to do it with fell over, pulled out, so I ended up joining 42 Geek Street. Well, we came up with a name together, and then we started doing 42 Geek Street. And the premise of that was for Ren, who isn't as into pop culture as we are, but has an interest in it, was to be the access point, and our show is like an access point for people who are interested in pop culture and have questions. Well, he asks the questions on their behalf. So that's
So he plays the role of the everyman, I guess.
He's the everyman.
And we are the educators.
We are the brains, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it started actually because Mike and I were in a car and we were talking Batman because we're into the mythology and we know a lot of it. And
Something I think we can all relate to.
Yes.
Yeah, so we heard your podcast, you saw your show from last week. So yeah, we understand that you like Batman universe as well. But yeah,
It's no secret.
Yeah, it's not. But it started with that, and that's how we ended up Ren being the everyman, because he then felt out of the conversation because he didn't know and he had questions to ask, and that sort of led to what the premise of the podcast was going to be. So that's the role he plays, and that's what we're hoping with the television show, which is going to be a little bit different. We're actually going to focus on the community aspect of geek culture. So that's like we're interviewing you guys later on about why you're putting together a vlog. We've interviewed a couple of other people. We went to saw the TARDIS guy today, which is why we're a little bit sunburnt. And it's all about the culture and the people and how inclusive it is now. So like when I was growing up, because I'm a little bit older than you guys, but when I was growing up, it was very rare to find other people that were into it, and it was hard to find other people.
So I guess that was really what your aim was, just to, I guess, connect with the community and let people know that what's out there.
Well, we found just since we've started the cast that everyone has been really helpful and welcoming, and or like you guys are willing to offer to help us do things and get out there and be a part of it. And we found that with everybody we've contacted. So the whole community aspect of it has been it's been really enlightening for me now being involved in it. And I think that's what we really want to show.
I think it's
off on
really
the
great
show.
that the people behind 42 Geek Street are so willing to lend your talents and just spotlight what happens in the community. It's really encouraging.
The great work is Melbourne's got a lot to give. So,
We do, yeah.
We're very giving. Better than Sydney, right?
Yeah.
Don't want to
Yeah.
offend our Sydney listeners, Sydney fans, but Melbourne's the place to be.
Better not let Pierre hear that.
Awesome coffee.
Exactly right. And great people. Well, what about the Watcher podcast? Now, that's something that's been around that you've been doing for quite a while as well, is it not?
Yeah. We're about a year and a half we've been doing that now. So we just recorded episode 61. And yeah, so we're all things pop culture as well. So anything we can talk about, whether it be TV, movie, comics, or random stuff. We kind of get that on the show too. So had a bit of fun with that too.
So is it less structured for you guys? Is it just talking about whatever takes your fancy?
Tends to be. The last one that we recorded was very, very unstructured. There were tangents aplenty. So it could lead, especially if one of us isn't there. If it becomes a 3-person show rather than a 4, and we just kind of structure goes out the window, and you can go from one thing to another. But that's great because it just makes it a lot of fun. I think that's an important element to have.
Well, if you guys do need any guests, you can check in with myself in 8 episodes time. Those math people, from 61 will know what I'm talking about. So make sure you come up with that.
Well, our 69 episode is going to be a bit racy, so look out for that one.
Wow.
Theirs is explicit content, and that's going to be their explicit episode, so it's going to be cool.
Well, we can all look forward to that, I'm sure. So, what are the plans for the future now? You've got the show with Channel 31 coming
so
up.
we're at the point where we're developing up the pilot for that. Once that pilot's approved, we should be ready to go for the July block. So that's a 3-month block of 13 episodes. So that's what we're aiming for, and we're hoping to have the pilot ready by Easter. So we're out visiting and recording now, and we've started in the last couple of weeks, and we're starting to make contact. So
we can look forward to some things happening around July time. Is that what you're?
well, July time
suggesting?
you'll hopefully be seeing it on Channel 31, and there'll be lots of announcements and stuff put up onto this website to keep people informed. And that's what we like to do, is make sure everyone's informed of where we're going and where we're at. So I'm really keen for people to check out the website.
Fantastic. Well, like I said, we're going to put, of course, all of our contact details, and we're all on social media these days, so
have
we'll
to be.
certainly be letting everyone know about it. Guys, we're going to wrap it up here because, we've all got places to be, things to do, and
Interviews to do
podcasts
after.
yeah. So, thanks again for watching, guys. Keep your eyes tuned on the 42 Geek Street, not 41 Geek Street, and the Watcher podcast. Don't forget to give us your thoughts on the Instant Name Here show, and guys, we'll catch you all next time. Thank you, Ron. Thanks for your time. Mike,
Cool. Thanks very much.
I feel like a bit of a Ken sandwich in here, so we better wrap this up. See you guys.
Bye.